began their lives in a small town other than Lyme. Although now it would be hard to imagine our town without them. They are a perfect pair. One has been characterized as possessing a go-with-the-flow disposition, while their partner would be characterized as probably anything other than going with flowing. He is a consummate New England pragmatist and devoted community member. She embodies enduring patience, involvement, care for others, and optimism. Two sides of a coin. Yes, but the same coin. They met on a ski slope, only months later were engaged. As the story goes, it may have sounded something like, well, I have a new job, and we get along, so it makes logical sense that we should probably get married. And likely the response could have been, that makes sense. 55 years later, they're still going strong at the ages of 81 and somewhere between 24 and 70, but I'm not being told what. Today, they remain as active and involved in life as they did when they first arrived in Lyme. They raised 3 wonderful daughters whose childhood memories of trips to Canada, packed in a station wagon with a dog for 17 hours, singing songs the entire trip, sounds like something out of Saturday Evening Post. Their contributions to Lyme are numerous. Their president is ubiquitous. He will be heard, his perspectives forthright and perceptive. While his words may outnumber hers, when she speaks, the room is silent, and likely the decision is clear. Between the two of them, there is little that has gone on in this town which they have not been involved. And yet it is often, and for me, heartwarming, that we rarely see them apart. They are a beautiful couple and a loving partnership. Together they are the social buzz of bridge nights, the boat club meetings, which, by the way, has no boats involved whatsoever, frequent audience members at Northern Stage, and sometimes opera buffs. And if there is anyone over the age of 48 and they are celebrating New Year's Eve as their guest. As impressive as they are as a couple, as individuals, they are each incredibly accomplished for how involved they've been in our town and our lives. With respect to their humility and everyone else's time, the list of contributions only includes the most visible. What is remarkable is that so much of what they've contributed, not only mentioned today, or in many cases is unknown, as their help is often in ways which are unknown to others. She serves in nearly every role in the Lyme Congregational Church, has coordinated and volunteered the community blood drives, serves as an officer of senior lunches, an officer and longtime member of the utility club, volunteered at the Long River Studios and the Bargain Barn, is a longtime puppeteer for Kids on the Block, an active member of town band, and has a pretty good backhand on the tennis court. He has served on the fire department. Fast Squad, was a selectman, sat on the parking study committee, budget committee, and innumerable committees at the Lyme Congregational Church, and has spoken at nearly every town meeting since they moved to Lyme, and likely will today. He is currently a member of the board of the Lake Sunapee Bank as well as Lebanon College, and yet surprisingly has no backhand on the tennis course or any recreational space. There are few in this world that have accomplished the feat of being known simply by their first name. Madonna, Prince, maybe two. But in Lyme, we have our own. We need only hear these names to know who they are and how much they have come to signify in our town. You may be lucky enough to call them a friend or a parent. Many of us know them as their neighbor, but we are all fortunate to be able to know them simply as Earl and Bev. On behalf of the Lyme Foundation, it's my pleasure to introduce this year's Citizens of the Year Awards to Earl and Beverly Strout. got him speechless.
I didn't bring any notes. I really don't know what to say. I'm very humbled. I know all the people in the past that have stood here and accepted this wonderful rod, whatever you call it, but I'm just speechless. My wife will probably have a lot to say. And thank you.
I'm very humbled. And I'm the one that don't, I'm the one that don't speak, so you can understand why. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Earl and Bev, for all that you've done. Just a little anecdote about Earl. I served on the fast squad with Earl for many years, and I was always happy when he arrived at the scene because everybody thought he was a doctor. Well, I was like, oh, Dr. Earl is here. And all he might have done is open the door or handle the stretcher, but he always had the calming influence and the sense of everything's going to be fine. And I can't tell you how many patients did so much better when Earl was in the room. So thank you to you both. We now would like to